Continue with in the headlines, but in case you are just joining us, Karibu tena sana. We appreciate that you have chosen to continue with us here on Good Morning Kenya. I am Jane Mamboy. Remember, we are using the hashtag Good Morning Kenya on Twitter. Our official station handle is at KBC Channel 1. We now start off with the Daily Nation. Very busy today. The main read being Uhuru Brigade endorses Raila. This is something that happened yesterday with the Mount Kenya Foundation coming together to officially declare the support for ODM leaders' candidacy for the presidential race. I'll be giving you details about that. There was a 4-member team that was officially sent to represent the president during this particular meeting. I'll be telling you about that in a bit. On the other hand, we have the story concerning the prices of unga, which are set to rise by the time we are hitting Christmas. Unga prices rise, cost of ugali to go up as maize cartels hold sway. Covered here on the back page of the Daily Nation. On matters beauty goes green with banana fiber hair extension that are biodegradable. Tutawacha kuvaa mkia ya farasi, tutavaa matawi ya madisi. That is actually something that is happening with one gentleman, Anajita Muturi Kimani, 51-year-old gentleman who is manufacturing carpets, yarns, and hair extensions from banana leaves. Haya. Na ikizeeka unatoa unatupa kwa shamba. Okay. The story concerning politicians and fundraising, of course, has found its way here on the front page of the Daily Nation. Ruto rushes to beat a deadline in Harambee. Yesterday, he was in Kisii, and he's said to have toured about He held 6 rallies in 5 constituencies in Kisii County in a last-minute rush to woo residents with financial support, where he did make donations to women, the youth, and border riders over there. And of course, this is in line with the IEBC regulations, today being the last day for such activity to be taking place. However, they are free to continue raising their own monies when it comes to their political journeys as they campaign towards the 2022 general elections. But I will be giving you the details as per what this daily has for us today. And finally, miracle of miners rescued after 6 days. You know, these are things that some of us would say tumeona tu kwa movie, but this is actually something that we have all been seeing on both mainstream and, social media. Prayers kept us going, rescued miners say, after staying trapped for over 150 hours. Living in the dark, not knowing the difference between day and night. At 3 a.m. yesterday, close to 7 days, they were finally pulled from the abyss, where the gold mine that they were in caved in on the 2nd of December to around 11 a.m. It has been a long 6-day ordeal and 7-day ordeal actually. On the 6th day, one of them actually said, we turned to prayer once it clocked the 6th day, and they were surviving on the salty water that was under there. There was a pipe that was being used to communicate with them from the rescuers that were above ground. They would also send down boiled water mixed with glucose to just help them survive, because getting food down there was the biggest challenge that they were experiencing. And the story, one of the guys that was actually rescued yesterday was 21-year-old Ogutu, who had only worked at this mine for 2 weeks after he was told, gold mining can get you some real good money in real good time. So he had actually gone for a funeral, decided not to return home, akaenda to this gold mine, and only 2 weeks later, it caved in with him inside. But his father was always up there waiting for him. More details coming up in a bit. Victor.
7 days surviving under
on salty water. Can you imagine just taking salty water on a regular versus having to take it to survive?
Yeah, if you have got the willpower, then everything is possible. All right. So on the front page of the Star newspaper, revealed DP Ruto's campaign strategy. DP plans to conduct regional forums to discuss development blueprint. That is what's on the front page of the Star. We'll give you details briefly. And still on the front page, how gangs are recruiting and police are killing youth in slums. how gangs are recruiting and police are killing youth in slums. You can take a look at that story as well. It's fleshed out there for you in details. Evidence before JSC illegally obtained, says Justice Chitembwe. High Court judge said that Chitembwe has claimed that a series of video recordings implicating him to corruption cannot be used before JSC as evidence was illegally obtained. Now, the recordings were released by former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko. Chitembwe's application is before the High Court. That is as far as that is concerned. And the president said that talk about your problems and stop misusing your guns. That's the message that President Uhuru has to the cops. And he said that serve with courage. President Uhuru Kenyatta has tasked new General Service Unit officers joining the National Police Service to serve the country with courage, integrity and discipline. He was speaking yesterday actually when he presided over the passing out parade of over 2,000 GSU officers. The president said that the servicemen and women should safeguard the rights and freedoms of Kenyans while upholding the law and abiding by rules and regulations. He also said that he also advised the officers to embrace discipline and talk to their seniors whenever they face problems instead of engaging in acts of lawlessness and despair. Actually, he was referring to a case where a police officer who is also captured here, that is Benson Imbatu, went berserk 2 days ago and killed 6 people in Kabete. And story is still here where Kabete killer cop's family, remorseful over murders, describe him as caring, calm, joyous and abhorred disagreements. The family said that Benson Imbatu did not exhibit any signs of suspect behavior. They said that they were horrified by the killings. And now family and friends and neighbors describe him as caring, calm, joyous and one who abhorred disagreements with those who interacted with him. So on Tuesday, Imbatu killed his wife and 5 strangers, then turned the gun on himself in the car where he was. So that is there. And there's that story again. Jane has just touched 3 more gold miners rescued from the Bondo shaft, and licensed mines are very dangerous, claiming lives in caverns. That is also poisonous. The story is also there. I run the risk of repeating the same. And finally, Ruto under fire as Uhuru backyard endorses Raila. The Mount Kenya Foundation met yesterday at Safari Park Hotel where they endorsed Raila Odinga for the top job. Deputy President William Ruto came under fierce attack from a group of Mount Kenya leaders as elite business. Men from the region endorsed Raila Odinga, that is ODM boss, for the presidency. At Safari Park Hotel, the Munya said that they will form a technical team to negotiate areas of concern and work with Raila Odinga to realize the dreams of the Mount Kenya region. In his address, Raila said that he would respond to, quote-unquote, many requests by leaders from Mount Kenya on Friday at Kasarani. That is tomorrow. And of course, we also have the picture there of former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo, who is also in the country to attend Raila's big day tomorrow. He was at State House and was received by President Uhuru Kenyatta. All right.
Mrs. O.
Okay, let's just begin on that political note, and that is in respect to those the Mount Kenya tycoons. I mean, they just had a lot to say in regards to the deputy president, much as they gave reasons as to why they were backing the former premier. And part of what they said is that we do not feel safe in the hands of individuals with a history of looting public coffers, land grabbing, and perpetuating the displacement of our people. Obviously referring to the deputy president as well. Like I mentioned, so many things that they had to say in regards to the deputy president, and also just saying that they believe the country will be safe in Raila's hands after Uhuru's retirement next year. That is what Mount Kenya region tycoons said as they settled for as they settled on Raila Odinga and choosing to back him come next year's general elections. And then donate in Harambes and face the music. That is what aspirants are being told by IEBC, that donating in Harambes is prohibited, and they're not allowed to do that. That is the 2022 contenders who participate in fundraisers from today, that is actually from today midnight, will be locked out of general elections. Whether they do that by themselves or they use proxies, nonetheless, as the IEBC is saying, is that they'll be locked out from general elections there. So that is the latest there from IEBC. And obviously, like we mentioned, I mean, since perhaps on Tuesday, where there have been ongoing investigations concerning the Kabete killer cop, and now the mother has come out to speak, and he describes the son as someone who was amiable, friendly, someone who was not chaotic. And just what is really coming out is that what resulted to those shootings or killings there is as a result of a love triangle. Also, the mother continuing to say that whom people are calling as the wife who was also killed in that particular shootout, the mom says that that was not the wife because she had never met her. So this is why, you know, a lot is being said in regards to this could have been a possible love triangle that resulted to those killings that happened there on Tuesday. And also the state continues to ramp up support when it comes to COVID-19. And they've engaged religious bodies or religious leaders. This is just in a bid to try and ensure that by the end of this year, they need to have vaccinated about 10 million Kenyans. And by end of next year, about 27 million Kenyans. So this is why they're strongly engaging also the religious leaders from different parts of the country to try and see how best they can be able to achieve that target. And obviously, as early this week, they had already vaccinated a total of 7.7 million Kenyans. Still continuing on matters of killing. This happened in Nyakach. That was yesterday, where a man blows himself up and kills a couple. So when we get the details, I'll be telling you more about that. In particular, what is happening in the country when it comes to these killings and shootouts. Troy.
Indeed, and of course I will pick it from where my colleagues have touched on, that is on the Azimio La Umoja by former Premier. The Standard, the headline, Mount Kenya teams yes to Raila and a list of demands. That is where I want us to focus for like a minute or so, because of course after the backing of the former Premier, they're talking about a commitment to the implementation of the constitutional principle of democratic, fair representation, equity on the vote in representation, and equitable resource allocation. That is they're talking about the one man, one vote, 1 shilling. They also want commitment to increase the devolution fund. They have also called for respect for property rights, facilitate resettlement of people who have been displaced, and a commitment to actualize a post-election violence victims fund. That's just some of the demands by the Mount Kenya Foundation, who endorsed Odinga for the top seat. Still on the front page, rescued miners, just as Doreen has talked about, they have recounted the harrowing experience that they had 6 days in cold, dark earth belly, and they are glad to be out. They're talking about they communicated with the last miner who is still to be rescued and assured him that all was going to be okay. Something also Doreen has touched, killer cop's last words to mother. You do remember Benson Imbatu, who killed 6 people and also took his life. Talking about they had a conversation which lasted for around 2 minutes, and he had not exhibited any signs that he had any mental problems or he was actually having any issues in his life. Well, perhaps to dig a little bit deeper in matters politics, Uhuru's succession. I'm ready to face my rivals at the ballot, says Ruto in his campaigns in Kisii, where he claimed all the top presidential aspirants had held plum jobs in government with nothing to show for it. Of course, they're talking about a deeper coverage of the 3 miners and the experience that they had. And there's something I had seen where some students have been taken, that is in regards to what is currently going on in schools, the unrest. Some students have been charged and caused, but of course they have denied those allegations. And also Judge Chitembwe wants JSC hearing suspended on account that another petition of course has been filed in a case that he handled, but he's talking about how the evidence that the former Nairobi County Governor Mike Sonko talking about that cannot even be verified, just as in the report that we had by Sarafina Robi. And it resonates with the case of the DCJ. If you remember, the court ruled that how the evidence regarding the DCJ, that is Philomena Mwilu, was acquired was illegal, and that stalled that case actually. But of course the DPP did appeal, and we are yet to hear what he has been told. That's just some of what is forming the headlines in the Standard.
All right, let's now get to giving you more details on some of the stories that we have mentioned. And we start off with the Daily Nation, the main read: Uhuru Brigade endorses Raila. Covered here on page 4 of the Daily Nation. So 4 senior officials in President Uhuru Kenyatta's administration attended the Mount Kenya Foundation Forum that was held yesterday, where they formally endorsed former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's presidential bid, giving the strongest hint yet that he is the preferred successor for His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta. According to this paper, they went on to establish that Raila Odinga and President Kenyatta's push for a broad-based coalition to secure a majority of elective seats in the 2020 polls is underway and gaining momentum. And those that represented His Excellency were Agriculture CS Peter Munya, including ICT CS Mr. Joe Musheru. We had Professor Margaret Kobia, CS for Public Service and Special Programs, and also Miss Cecily Karaoke, CS for Water and Irrigation, among many others that were sent to represent the president during this particular forum. We also did see Mr. Munya reading a hard-hitting resolution stating why the Mount Kenya Foundation had chosen Mr. Odinga as their preferred candidate to secure the Mount Kenya region interest. And in his opening statements, now you see me, now you don't, but now you see me again. But in his opening statements, he said that contrary to what some people believe, our people care more about the economy than politicians and politics. However, we see politics as an opportunity to address our economic issues, and that is why they went on with, endorsing Mr. Odinga's presidential bid. And on the other hand, this is a story that I believe Victor and Doreen, you've touched on in regards to no more Harambes for poll candidates. And they were key to highlight the deputy president's visit in Kisii that happened yesterday. 6 constituencies, or rather 5 constituencies, where he had 6 rallies. But today marks the last day, as per the regulations that were put out by the IEBC, that is December the 9th, the last day when it comes to fundraising by aspirants for the voters. And contrary to, if you do violate this moving forward, number one, you will be considered to sort of, you risk being disqualified, because any 8 months towards general elections, you are not allowed to give monetary or any material benefits to the voter, as it may be considered as a way of buying their votes. But as an aspirant, you are free to raise your own funds for your campaigning. So that is that in regards to those 2 major stories that have been featured here on the Daily Nation. Victor.
Oh yes, yeah. So governors cleared in 2018-2019 audit that is county chiefs found not capable of any wrongdoing, despite a report by the Auditor General, that is Nancy Gathongo. Instead, the County Public Accounts and Investments Committee made general administrative recommendations to the governors and their finance executives to streamline financial operations. So my governors wako sawa and they're clean kama pamba. Okay. The story of Chitembe there is also fleshed out there for you. I run no risk of repeating the same. There's something here. Coast Park hotels fully booked for Christmas and New Year fit. Wakenya tumeteseka for some time, and now numbers are driven by the domestic market, mainly Nairobi residents, hoteliers say. It said that Lamu is at 85%, with occupancy at key tourist hotels expected to hit 100% over the Christmas week and New Year, thanks to the direct flights from Nairobi to Mombasa, that is. It also said that hotels and camps in parks are also recording good business as the festive season nears. In the Mara, said that key facilities are fully booked for Christmas and New Year, with a few vacancies between December 20th to 23rd and December 26th to 29th. So, yeah, I think it's good time for people to go and just unwind. It's been a tough year. Some people say that 2019, 2020 and 2021 ilipita. The government ilisema that the year was lost. So tuliruka from 2019 to jikuta 2022.
And 2022 tarehe tatu,
yeah,
back to business.
Yes. So these 2 years were lost. So hata mimi nilivuka huko. There is a story
Does
here.
that mean we don't count your birthdays in those 2 years?
Yes, I
It's
did.
2 years younger.
Time stood still.
Yeah, I'm 2 years younger still, because those years were lost. 2019, 2020, 2021. Zimpotea, so.
What makes you happy, by the way? Hii maisha?
Yeah. There's a story here.
Kenya tycoon.
I don't know where these things do happen. Have you seen those posters? Daktari kutoka si mimi.
Tanga.
Hadi kuna wakitui.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a page here, full page of these people.
Madaktari.
Yes, madaktari. Now we can bring back, okay, your husband and wife or finance who left you kimadarau in 24 hours.
Finance or fiancé?
Wow.
Finance. Actually, it's fiancé. Yes.
Hey.
Yes. We can bring back your husband, wife, or fiancé who left you kimadarau in 24 hours. Lost. Okay, that's not lost libido.
24 hours.
Kushika. Hey. And then there's another one saying that you want to make money at your business, to be promoted at work, place to be loved, and make your love faithful to you only. Do these things really work?
Actually, Vicky, there's a time the government had raised a red flag over these people and had started a crackdown. I don't know what happened and where the efforts, because we still can see those posters each and everywhere we go, and also in the newspapers.
But by virtue of seeing them, that means they're working. That means they're in business.
Yes, of course they have.
Something that
this business, you just call.
It's a booming business.
Have you ever walked on the streets and then your eyes meet that poster, then unafeel nika inakuvuta?
I don't know if you guys.
I don't know what.
And then you decide to call, eh?
No, but no.
Doreen. Umaivutwa. Ama kuna ex anakuita. 24 hours.
Are you eating?
How was it?
But see, yes, Doreen.
They target issues that a good number of
Emotive
Kenyans
issues.
and most Kenyans face. Relationships, finances, pesa. Na mtu wako mwenye alikuacha na madharau.
Yes.
Those things are things that touch Kenyans mahali. That's why they target those things.
And even just yesterday on the Daily Nation, there was a piece concerning how street beggars are making a killing. In Mombasa, there was one who was actually interviewed, and she said on a bad day she makes around 2K. On a good day, they make up to 10 grand.
Tax-free.
Wow.
Tax-free, just begging on the streets. And I don't know if you guys have ever come across this another lady, anakuanga na kavits. Very elderly. Anaendanga anasimama anakwambia, excuse me, I forgot my wallet at home and I'm running out of fuel. Do you have 100 bob? You help me? Have you guys ever met such a lady on the roads?
Wow.
And you're walking and you're about...
Unatembea yako na kavits kake hapo.
Na
anakuambia
pesa.
I have met her like 3 times. Until just recently I saw somebody took a video of her on social media. Hadi kuna mwingine hapo hivi tao anakuambia ni aje, kwanza anaongea kizungu ingine safi. Hello, how are you doing? I'm an orphan. I have a small brother at home and we haven't eaten for the last 3 days. Would you guys take us to this supermarket and buy us some groceries?
Oh yes, yes, sure. Come.
You've met that one?
Yes, come. Yeah. What do you want? I need mkate, maziwa tatu.
Enda na yeye huko, anakuchukulia unga hapo, anachukua hadi zinaitangwa aje, these hot cross buns.
Yes.
It just baffles me that the rate of unemployment in this country has made Kenyans devise ways of making money.
Guys are out here hustling by all means.
Yeah. Yani mtu anaongea kizungu safi lakini
kizungu safi.
Okay, I think you can call me mean or something, but you see, there's that value for your money. Economically, if you take 10 shillings or even 5 bob from your pocket and give someone without any service rendered, just know the ripple effect.
Mimi acha nikwambie Victor, saa zingine umama uwe inanisubua.
Hai mimi na
katoto kamekukujia. Kama kufika hapo kwa magoti.
Ngumu.
Kana kutap si mama bado.
Ngumu.
Umama mzigo.
Why kwani ajai kwa na hii experience amenyamazaje?
Actually, you see the little ones, wana clean na koti kabisa. They have been trained. Wana clean na koti kabisa, and you have to give them something.
Hapana.
But let's take a break on that note. Tujifikirie. We'll be back after this quick breather.